Yo, yo,
What up?
what's going on? We back.
What
So,
up?
we were talking off camera, and you know how we do, and we just like, man, we gotta start recording more of these conversations. It's funny how this YouTube thing is kind of interesting because we tend to self-censor, subconsciously, if that makes sense. And I'm almost to the point with you, cuz, that I really want to just like audio record all our conversations, because when we speak freely, man, I feel like that's when we come up with the best stuff. And despite what the media or whatever makes you think, man, like I feel like we're very relatable to a lot of people out here in the world, man. I think we have something to really add to the conversation of just everything that's going on. So
Oh yeah, no
that's kind of
doubt,
what sparked this impromptu, YouTube live. So
no doubt. It's really difficult to capture um, genuine conversations on camera. First of all, it's fucking weird
it is.
talking to a camera, and then on top of that, you know that people watching, and some people are more sensitive than others, and you don't want to get censored or put into YouTube jail, none of that, So, I mean, it's difficult to capture our conversations that we have off the camera. They'd be nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just some funny jargon about nothing. Other times, we kind of get real insightful about some things, like you said, that's relatable to most people.
We live in a politically correct, culture, or supposedly, and it's just it just makes it weird, man. Like even now, sometimes, like I'd be like, we'd be into a good conversation on the live, and I'm like, man, I wonder if the people who may or may not be listening are getting offended, over some silly stuff.
Yeah, over my opinion.
Yeah.
Of some guy who stayed in his mama's basement.
Right.
You shouldn't be offended by nothing I say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
it's not that deep.
Of course, everybody's still talking about the whole Diddy thing. And
you know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Cassie, I owe you. I honestly thought it was a money grab. Like, no shit. I thought you was just trying to get a bag. You was trying to get it off of someone you knew who had the bag. And I thought you were sort of jealous or slighted because the relationship ended when you was prancing around with some new chick. Right. And I made some terrible assumptions. And
well, you know what?
After seeing that video, I publicly apologize because it made me angry. I wanted to go to bed.
Yeah. And but all jokes aside, that's big of you, but at the same time, it's like I don't even really know if you really owe her an apology in that respect, because the video we did a couple of months ago, or about 4 or 5 months ago now, when the lawsuit and everything was settled, we, to be fair to us, we explored the possible scenarios. And one thing I do remember us talking about, I might have to link that video in this live if somebody does actually give a damn or care to look at it. But we did talk about how, one of the possibilities could be is that, hey, when you're dealing with somebody with that much money and influence, what they're doing or how they go about reacting to certain things, it's not going to seem rational to us because we're not in that situation. And so like in our defense, like we didn't really jump to conclusions. We just try to play out the scenarios, which is what you have to do.
You didn't jump to conclusions.
Oh, okay.
I did. You know what I mean? And and without having the facts, I was just another random cat on the internet giving his opinion. And my opinion was completely wrong. You know what I mean? Really, I don't care if that was the only instance where that ever happened. You know what I mean? That was a step and a level too far right there.
Yeah.
I don't support.
It's funny though, man, because it's like, first of all, my man chased her down in a hotel hallway. So this nigga was mad comfortable.
Yeah.
Like don't get it twisted. Like and then, once again, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I sincerely doubt that was his first, second, or third time laying hands on Shorty.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like
Like I said, he tried to stomp her like Tupac stomped a nigga in Vegas before he got popped. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, wow.
What we doing?
Bro.
What are we doing?
Like,
I know Cassie's face. I can't really picture her figure in my mind right now, but from what I recall, I don't think she's a very a big woman or a tall woman at all. She's very slight.
She's petite. One thing I really don't like, man, one thing I can't stand, just in general, I can't stand when someone bullies someone that's smaller than they are. Or picks on someone that's smaller than they are. That shit really gets under my skin, man. And you know what? I've never seen any footage of Diddy running up on any man like that. Bodyguards.
I'm about to say, and if it is out there, you better believe it's probably like 10 or 15 bodyguards off camera.
Yeah, man. Fuck that.
But I'm glad you said something about that though, because that does bring into question, man. Like, I'm not sure how many people remember this, and I could be remembering the facts wrong. But hasn't Diddy been in a fight with J. Cole and Drake at some point? Like, didn't he supposedly slap Drake years ago? And then like there was a rumor of a fight with J. Cole, and like it kind of got like silenced. But like I think J. Cole put hands on him.
Bro, I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. Like, I could be wrong, man. Like, I would look it up, but I don't really care that much. But but yeah, I'm pretty sure
he smacked Drake or something. You know what I mean? And I think J. Cole smacked him. I don't really follow that shit closely enough to care.
Yeah,
I don't care enough to follow it closely. I mean, but
facts.
But even still, that's in a situation where he has a lot of bodyguards and protection around. You know what I mean? I just don't respect anybody.
Yeah, the only reason I brought that up is I was just thinking, has his temperament been like this the whole time? And I gotta go back to the guy. Everybody's trying to dog him and saying like, well, instead of just coming out now, why weren't you doing anything about it back then? But in his defense, the first person I saw who was basically calling Diddy a bitch, for lack of a better term, was Gene Deal, the security guard guy.
I thought you were gonna say 50.
Nah.
He ran up on 50 like that.
Yeah, 50 been on this top for a minute too. Like, I think it's an interview where 50 been called him a fruitcake.
Yeah, so that's how you want to take him shopping.
Yeah.
You all been taking shopping.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Me shopping.
Gene Deal been on him for a long time, man. I'm not sure where the split with them really stems from, but from the interviews I saw, man, I catch little clips and stuff from time to time. He seems to be really salty about the fact that Puffy took Big to LA after everything that went down with Tupac. And there were a lot of people apparently who was just like, hey, yo, this is not a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course it proved not to be, but I digress. But he said a lot of stuff, man. He said Diddy been kind of funny acting for years, man, like male escorts, all kinds of crazy accusations. And then you think about what Shorty alleged in that lawsuit before they settled for that $30 million. And then you see this right here where she's describing the situation and they got video footage of it, man. It makes you wonder, like, how much was she lying about anything she said?
And if she was, it's all believable now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And frankly, I feel like he should have paid a price for that. And I'm actually happy he's going where he's going. I mean, look, sometimes shit happens. You lose your cool, and your girl may slap you, may slap her back out of reflex or something.
Yeah.
But this situation was something where
just something different.
It was something different, right? This is actual abuse. You can tell he had been beating her freely, at any given time. And I can really see now looking back that she was could have been terrified, afraid to leave that situation.
And yeah,
go Go ahead, bro. My bad.
That's no. I saw this one joint, man. Like, and I forgot which video it was, man. But they went back and played like a couple of clips of like when Diddy and Cassie were together being interviewed. And you know, hindsight is always 20/20, man. But it just was kind of creepy to look and see how a couple of times how like Diddy like cut his eye at her. You know what I'm saying? And how
on some Ike Turner shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, real talk. Like speaking to the mic, anime. Like, what are you doing, nigga? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that clown no more, man.
Yeah.
I'm not interested to get a diddler any more attention today.
Yeah, I say all that, and that's fair enough. I say all that to say this though, man. Like, I hope she's in a better place right now, man, because like that's rough. Everybody loves to talk that trash until they're the one going through it.
Yeah, it's easy to laugh at someone else.
So like that was, I can't imagine for someone trying to get her career going, and she's new to the scene, young, naive. Like I think they say she met him when she was 19 or something like that. That was a daunting situation to overcome, man. And like I really wouldn't wish that on anyone. It seems to be that she's starting to come around and she's recovered. I think she's married with children now. I hope she's happy, and I hope that trauma doesn't follow her for the rest of her life, and she's able to put it past it, you know, and basically it'd be a chapter of her life, an unfortunate chapter, but nonetheless a chapter of her life and not what defines her life. And I'll leave it at that, man.
Yeah, with that being said, let's talk about something else that's more important right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your boy Terrence Howard. And that
Yo.
What do you think about that?
Man, bro. You know, I'm gonna look into the camera for a second. When you don't know everything, which none of us does, it's okay to say, hey, I don't have enough knowledge to confidently state an opinion about this subject. So I'm going to lead with that. With that being said, I hope my boy don't come up missing, man.
He said a lot of controversial things. I mean, he dropped so much knowledge, bro. It was just so many different things that they touched on. I don't want to say knowledge, I guess, for fear of looking stupid, right? To be honest, and I don't want to say lies for fear of not being forward thinking.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there have been many times in history where those who were on the cusp of new technology or a new wave of technology were looked at as crazy, or insane, or stupid, right? You know, new theories will always sound weird, strange, right? Unfounded, right?
Because it's outside of the known parameters,
right?
Yeah.
But the way he conveyed his message without being interrupted on Joe Rogan, which that was a masterful interview, by the way. But the way he conveyed his message really gave me an understanding and insight to his thought process for all that, man. And, one of the things that I could think of right off top was the linchpin theory, with those octagonal shapes, how they all come together to form different things, and that they come together, form things to complete specific tasks, right? And that really stood out because I haven't seen anything like that in reality outside of movies. You know, they had this capability. When he showed the video of how they came together to operate together as one unit to lift and move things around and things like that. That can be applied to so many things, right? You know what I mean? And to me, that was just, I was amazed at the forward thing, because this isn't a thought he had yesterday.
Yeah.
So he had a decade or two ago.
Years, yeah.
And started putting in patents and making practical applications of it. You know what I mean? And it really expanded my mind to a whole lot of possibilities of how close we may actually be to taking that next leap forward, in humanity, providing that nothing is impeded by the government or the powers that be.
Yeah. But I think that's gonna be the big thing right there, because that's gonna be like the big I think they're gonna block him basically. This is not even saying he's correct. Like I said, I don't know enough about this subject to really think my opinion matters. But I will say this: we're in a time where a lot of things that we previously believed to be true are being questioned. From archaeology to what happened with governments and everything. So people need to have an open mind and understand that. Put the hubris aside. Put your pride aside. We may not be the most advanced creatures to ever step foot on this earth. That is a really possibility. That's a real possibility. And I say that to say is that it opens your mind to all kinds of possibilities, because I'm trying to word this delicately, but it could lead to so many things making sense. Like, I go back to like when people were talking about like the mystery that is the pyramids of Egypt, right? And in that interview, to be fair, full disclosure, I haven't even finished the interview. The interview was like 3 hours or something long.
Oh, you saw Terrence Howard, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that interview, he's talking about the tones and the vibrations of certain things. And there was an archaeologist who was on Joe Rogan. Gosh, I can't remember his name. But he was talking about how maybe it was frequencies, and like people had a different kind of technology maybe thousands of years ago, and that would explain how the pyramids were built and how the stones and stuff were moved. Mm-hmm. So like when Terrence Howard was talking about that, the tones and the frequencies and everything, my mind immediately went to that because I had seen that interview and I was like, that's interesting. So you combine that with the fact that many people are saying that the pyramids are older than what was previously believed. And, it could throw a lot of things off, man. A lot of established theories can be proven wrong. And the establishment does not like that. So I expect he's going to get a lot of kickback, a lot of blowback.
100%. The establishment is not, they don't like anything that they can't control.
Yeah.
Right. And if there is an unlimited power source that anyone can just tap into with basic materials, right, that disrupts the entire economic ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Right. So they're not going to like that at all.
Somebody's committing suicide. They can shoot themselves in the back.
Or shoot everybody else.
Yeah.
Before the signals get out. I mean, but I did like how to touch on the whole frequency thing, how he touched on the periodic table and how it showed our current view of it doesn't show the relationship between elements, right?
Yeah.
With those frequencies, it shows the relationships between the elements, the opposites, and the ones that are similar and like in frequency and sound and so on and so forth, which again implies that we can do so many things. We can create things in space just by playing the right fucking song.
Right, freaking yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably heal the body with the correct frequency. One of his examples was propulsion, being able to fly aircraft with the right frequency or detaching from the frequency.
Yeah.
Right. He's explaining the power of electricity. Now, I'm not a scientist.
No, sir.
Maybe this conversation is beyond my high school education, but subtle things make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like when you said with the balloon, you take a balloon, you rub it on your leg, get some static electricity going on, and you put that balloon on the ground, and you watch the dirt jump up to attach itself to the balloon. However, there's supposed to be X amount of force of gravity being applied to that dirt.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be equal to the mass, right? So the mass of the balloon is way less than the mass of the Earth. However, that dirt is jumping up and gravitating towards that balloon with electricity.
Yeah,
so he said that to demonstrate the power of electricity, and also gave an explanation of where electricity actually comes from, what creates electricity.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is one of those interviews where you have to go in, you have to look at it 2 or 3 times, just to try to wrap your mind around some of the things you said. Because we all have this. We've been conditioned to think certain things. You know what I mean? And I thoroughly enjoyed it, whether it's bullshit or not bullshit. Even the whole math equation, 1 times 1 equals 2. His definition and the way he looked at it and think about it, it does make you question things. And really, in any society, that's the beginning of a technological advance, is when you start to question what currently exists.
Yeah.
Right? And if no one questions what currently exists or the current system, how do you make progress?
Indeed.
You know what I mean? I mean, man, the dude said the stars, birth planets. Yeah.
That joke was wild.
Interesting, right?
Hey, even if he's dead wrong, I feel like there's a young mind out there who's gonna make a dope story or a comic book strip based on what he was talking about.
Yeah, I drunk wild. And really, he said something else that it's a thought that I had a long time ago, right? I was thinking about the micro and macro of trying to get an understanding of this reality, right? So when we go down micro, right down to our cellular level, we have a lot of, we're made of trillions and trillions of freaking cells, right? They have different jobs to form together and perform different tasks, you know. And I may be a lung cell, but because I'm a lung cell, it doesn't mean I'm aware of the toe cell.
Yeah.
Or the toenail cell, right? Or the hair follicle cell may not be aware of the finger cell or the bone marrow cell. You know what I mean? But they're there doing their function and doing their job, right? And it's a community of trillions of cells making this ecosystem work. Now, when you come out at the macro level, our whole existence universe could be either one complete living organism, and we're all just little cells within it. You know what I mean? Or it can be, our universe can be one cell in a larger organism, right? Because he also, one thing he brought up was that something about the gravitational wave bouncing back after going up so far, which shows that there is a finite position.
There's a finite,
to our universe, right? So if it does have a finite position, it's not expanding. Because that's always been a question too. What is the universe expanding into? I always ask myself that. Okay, it's expanding into what? And then what is that? You know what I mean? But if it has a finite position, then that means it could be universes on top of universes on top of universes. You know, which also goes into the multi-dimensional things. And bro, we can go on a rabbit hole of all the things he talked about. And talk circles about it. Now, I don't mean to get long with it, but it's just complex and deep.
It's fascinating, man. Like, even as you thinking about as you were talking just then, I just thought to myself, man, like, and I wonder, like, this could be far-fetched. Like I said, I'm not a scientist either, but I remember a few years ago when people were talking about the diet and everything, and people were talking about how important it is to take in electric foods, or that's what they termed them, you know. And it's just one of those things. Like, sometimes you connect dots. You don't really know, like, if it means anything, but, you know, your brain recognizes, like, it's some kind of familiarity there, you know. And I was thinking about that, and he was talking about how, like, you know, basically everything is electric, you know.
Right.
And like, I wonder if, like, that could be like a key to healing a lot of these diseases, you know.
I believe it is, bro.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah. Once we allow other, once we allow different thoughts to go out and do experiments, right? Or we fund different things, and for more than just the purpose of blowing shit up.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's not make everything about a military advance. You know, what about advancing the cause of the fucking world? Let's fund some of that shit, you know, and we can really advance as a civilization to heights that we only seen in dystopian sci-fi movies.
Hey, cuz, you know what? I think I'm gonna do something real off the wall.
What up?
I think I'm gonna get a plant, right? I think I'm gonna get like 2 9-volt batteries. Get some copper wire. Hear me out now. Hear me out. And I'm going to take these 2 batteries and this copper wire, and I'm going to connect them. Make a big circle. I'm going to put a plant inside there. I'm going to see if that plant grows any differently. And I'm going to have another plant that's just, you know, I'm just curious, man.
Yeah. Why not? I mean,
electromagnetism, is it not?
Bro, man, look, I haven't said this a lot, man. I had this dream probably about 10 years ago now. I was in my backyard, well, my mama's backyard, excuse me, incorrect myself.
Mama's basement, mama's backyard.
Yeah. Mama's backyard, right? And I had like this unk. And that unk, you know how the unk is shaped, it has like that, the cross, then a circle at the top.
Yeah.
So around the sides, it was wrapped in copper, and the circle part was wrapped around in copper, and the other side was wrapped in copper. And I don't know what material the actual unk was made of, but for some reason I knew that was copper that was wrapped around it, and I put that into the earth, and I had energy.
Word.
Now, I've never taken the initiative to actually try it and see what happens. But now, you know, I'm intrigued. Yeah, I mean, I may go steal a catalytic converter or two, so I can afford the copper to try to make that, recreate it, and see what happens. I mean, it's so many things we haven't tapped into, and it makes me think about Tesla. In a lot of Tesla's writings and inventions, he was able to tap into energy in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? And so these things are possible, I believe. I believe a lot of technology has been stunted by the use of conventional power sources because that's how they control and regulate things today.
Absolutely. Every once in a while, you hear stories like, I'm not sure how true it is. I'm not sure the validity of it, but I think it's been a couple of instances you heard of people talking about how like they've been able to power things using water.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm not sure if it's a media hoax or whatever. But then all of a sudden, this person goes missing, or you know, they miraculously fall up a flight of stairs instead of down.
Right. Yeah, hangs himself because he was such.
What do you know? Defying gravity.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it's why I mean, it's ironic how these people tend to disappear, right? When to be honest with you, what I don't understand is why not take those people, fund their work, patent their work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then find a way to control it. I mean, granted, for the consumer, he still may be forced to pay for it, but everybody wins, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get what you need, you still have a sense of control. The consumer pays less for power consumption, and it's cleaning the environment and so many other things.
Yeah.
Right? I don't understand the thought process of let's eliminate every obstacle or opposition that goes against our way of life. I don't understand that thing and that thing before.
It's the control, the power, the fear that someone else might be able to expound upon that before they do, you know?
But they already got billions, bro.
We say?
They already have billions. What more do they freaking need? They got billions, houses, yachts, jets, planes. You're already set.
Yeah.
For 10 lifetimes. I mean, what more do you need to where you got to say, okay, we can't let cars be out here running by water because it's gonna fuck up my oil dynasty. But you already
mess up my bread. That's it though. That's it. That paranoia is a mofo, man.
When they could be the ones, they could be the ones manufacturing these engines or what have you, and still making money. They're just readjusting, to the new technology and kind of pushing it. I mean, I don't know. I get frustrated thinking about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Because just imagine, I think about a world where everything that should be free to us is free to us. For example, water should be free.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Fruit should be free.
Yeah.
It grows from the earth, right?
Yeah.
And just imagine a society where every person isn't stressed out trying to pay their bills or live day to day, right? And the whole purpose of life, a new narrative is painted, right? It's not who can have the most, but who can contribute the most. And every person is out here wanting to receive those accolades and those what do you call it? Accolades and perks that come with a high producing individual. And they everyone's focused on advancing human civilization further and further and further and further, opposed to I gotta find a job, I gotta pay rent, I gotta put gas in my car, I gotta make groceries. Why they tax me so much? Who's right? Who are red? Who am I voting for? Biden and Trump? Yeah. I mean, all this bullshit that our mind is full of. Everyday decisions. What do we have to make so we can solely focus on progress?
That's it. And the fact that you're worried about a bunch of things, it suppresses your innovation. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Like, how many times do you really have moments where you could just sit back and just let your mind wander? I know for me, it's at the worst time, which is probably like when my black ass is supposed to be asleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here thinking about stuff. I'm coming up with these, oh my gosh, I wonder if I did that or whatever. It's like, man, take your butt to bed. Because
it sounded like me last night. Me. I knew the most powerful superhero is Flash. Yeah, exactly.
Oh shoot. But yeah, man, I can go down the rabbit hole with that, man. But we had 33 minutes, man, so we can go ahead and end it. I just want to get something out there for the people who actually give a damn. Our four fans or subscribers, you want to call them. We appreciate y'all, for real.
I appreciate it.
Real talk.
Real. Appreciate the love.
This is not easy. It's kind of different from me putting my stuff out there. I ain't in the front. I don't like having my face on camera, but I just want to do audio, but nah, old pretty boy over here. My bad. Old pretty boy over here.
You see this rough face? I'm at to find one of them TikTok filters, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking rugged over here. I mean, but think about that. Think about where we could be, y'all. Just think about the bigger picture. And comment down below what your thoughts was about anything we said, whether it was right, you agree, disagree, contribution to the conversation. Yeah, I mean, look, we here to talk. We're here to have open dialogue. We're not choosing sides on nothing. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, just to be clear, we're not internet trolls. Like, we're not gonna come in the comments and like block your comment or just like troll you, talk trash about you, call your name. We grown. We might not act it all the time, but we are grown.
Well, I'll be grown when I get up my mama's face.
Hey,
That's what she said anyway.
Somebody got to put $10 on the light bill, baby. Somebody got to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
On that note, we out.
Peace.
Peace.